Hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Soulivity Today. We're, of course, broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Brian Westley Johnson, and whether you're at home, driving, or even at work, of course, we're glad you're here with us because we have a very special and amazing show. But first, I need to welcome my co-host for today. Back with us is Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, Executive Leadership Coach, author, and Soulivity Senior Contributor. Dr. Chanel, I'm like, whoop, whoop. Welcome back, girl.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm good. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but you have been,
Yes.
you've been tearing it up in the Detroit metropolitan area. I mean,
Yes.
I saw recently, was it Women in Leadership Forum,
Yep.
where you were the
Yep.
keynote for that?
Yes. At the University of Michigan. Thanks for following me and
Of
acknowledging.
course.
Yes. So University of Michigan Alumni Association has a Women in Leadership symposium, an annual symposium, and they invited me to be the keynote. And they wanted to know about my entrepreneurial journey. So was so delighted and honored to share, the highs and the challenges. Entrepreneurship is not a walk in the park, as my grandmother would say. And they really got a lot out of it. And we really helped them to focus on their why, the impact that they can make. They don't have to wait to graduate. And I also gave them an opportunity for a $25,000 grant, opportunity for them to fund whatever project they're looking to start. Like, again, don't wait. If there's something in there, let's get it going.
Right.
And so that was great. And and then the association did buy my book. So
fantastic.
Girls got the book, and I was able to autograph some of them for them. I did not, Brian, I am not the author who pre-signs books. I have to see you, experience you, and then I'll write you a little message. So I didn't sign everyone's book, but it was just a blessing that they at least have the book and they can reference it. So that was an awesome experience.
Yeah, I saw all the beautiful faces of these bright and upcoming young women looking fierce. Oh man, expectations are high for all of them because I'm like, you getting all the support? Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
Totally all right. And they're just as darling as ever, and that's to the highest respect. But they are fearless, and they are going to make a big difference.
Well, it takes a village. Thank you for being part of this village and supporting young women. And it's so funny that all this is going on because this goes in along with how I'm so happy about our topic today. Yes. Because not only do we get a chance to celebrate you and other phenomenal women around the world, but we also get a chance to learn how to empower, support, and ally with all of you for a better world. Just want to remind people that from Women's History Month to the Global International Women's Day celebrations, March is a time to champion the power of women's voices and drive positive change. So that's why we're doing all this today, just to make sure that everybody understands we are all in this together. And that women have been disadvantaged and discriminated against in so many different ways, specifically women of color. And it's got to change. It's got to change. And so we just want to highlight some of the few things that we can talk about today that are around this. Chanel, was thinking about, when I was trying to develop the show, and it took me a minute. We talked about International Women's Day last week, but I was thinking about, okay, what can we do to kind of like highlight and bring this forward? And I thought about you, I thought about Sheila, I thought about Teresa, I thought about Tammy, and the other women that are part of Soulivity. And I found this fantastic article about how Google is paying it forward with celebrating and supporting women in 4 specific ways. And they're fantastic. And so I wanted to kind of go through them with you, get your takes on all these things, so that our listeners, men and women, young and old, can contribute to the progress that's already made for women, and so that we can move this forward. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started here? Some of the stories we consume shape our understanding of the world, and the stories of women specifically, both historical and contemporary, are really inspiring. So for this Women's History Month, people can immerse themselves in women's narratives and women's voices with the help of Google. And specifically, YouTube is amplifying all these voices, specifically with women's creators, with this special YouTube channel. And we've got the link up. We'll put the link in our chats. It's youtube.com /YouTube/featured. And it has all these fantastic videos and creators that are here, that you can kind of go in here. It's everything from art to learning new skills, runaway ready. I love that. Women in the UK, French women creators. It's like international. So it's so cool. And Chanel, I wanted to kind of feature one of these that's kind of like my favorite, because it kind of goes across something that I know that's important to all women, but specifically our sisters, and that's hair. So let's check it out.
What's good, y'all? I'm Will from Will on a Whim.
I'm Bianca Renee.
And I'm Natural Rain.
We all know that everybody's hair journey is deeply personal.
You have to figure out what works best for you. The natural hair community brought us together to figure things out together.
Everyone's journey is different. We got you covered.
Are you ready to celebrate the natural hair community?
Let's get it.
This is either going to be a fail video or it's going to be a success. Let's try to trust the process. Ate it up. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I think that's how a lot of natural hair journey starts. You just try it all. Just try everything.
Natural hair it has infinite versatility. You can express yourself in so many different ways with your hair. YouTube is a fun kind of playground in that sense.
Let me take notes.
And you can get inspiration from everywhere.
Hold on, I gotta make my hair as big as possible. I need the volume.
The natural hair community teaches self-love. Taking care of my hair is like a way to show self-love. I love myself, I care about myself, and I embrace my natural curls.
I've always loved my curls, and now my current journey is trying to get more people to also love their curls.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
My routine is typically meditative.
You could do a face mask, you could make a playlist, listen to your favorite songs.
Me doing my hair is kind of me caring about my blackness and my identity. When I'm deep conditioning, I'm deep conditioning my blackness. Deep condition your blackness, you know what I mean?
You could put that on a shirt.
I'm gonna put it on a shirt.
Our audience, the community we've been able to build from just education on natural hair, is so rewarding.
The fact that it started all with just hair, that's beautiful. Exploring all of our identities together and nurturing that for each other.
Your hair is a big part of your self-confidence, and I think that's awesome.
Shout out to everybody who makes this community a special place.
Amazing.
Bye.
Okay, Google. All right, Google. Come on through. Come on through. That's what I'm talking about. These are, we laugh about these, and, the whole, condition your way to blackness, that, all these kind of things but the fact that these women that, and again, this is a woman creator that came together and put her friends in this video, and it looks fabulous, it sounds fabulous, but the bigger picture is the forum at which women can come out and talk about the things that are important to them and what they're feeling about their world, right?
Yeah. You know, there's not a whole lot of spaces, right? A lot of safe spaces that we have to come out and share the real. So he said, deep condition your blackness. Where are you going to go with other individuals who totally get that? I mean, somebody could take that and make so much money. So much money, Brian.
Hello.
You put that on a t-shirt, put that on a hat, whatever. Okay, fine. But it's the thought of being able, like he said, and what was conveyed in the video, of being able to share the different identities in a way that is relatable, that you can connect with, that somebody gets you, somebody sees you, understands you, and you do not have to explain.
Right.
That is like so important. And I am, you know, my aim is to create those kind of spaces where we can come and we can sit and sip on tea and dialogue and cross our legs or sit on the floor and just open up and share what's down on the inside that we're not always able to share in open spaces. So I love it. They did an awesome job. It was fun. It was light. It definitely conveyed the meaning of what they were getting across.
Absolutely. You know, and this is what it's all about, right? And again, here's a big tech company that is coming forward and saying, listen, we know that there are women out here of all in all its diversity that need some support in telling them stories and getting it out here. So we're going to support that. So we're going to pay it forward, right? We're going to create and make these special places and that kind of thing and highlight it so that other people can highlight it as well. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with
Brian,
you.
let me just add this. While that's my whole mission, right? That's my business, right? But I don't want to have this kind of business. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want there to have to be, and I know this is going to maybe rub some people the wrong way. Yes, we need Women's History Month. We need Asian History Month. We need Black History Month, right? Presently. But I want to be in the position where it's not needed. It's just a way of being. We are in this now. We're all in it together. This is the end result of some decisions and motivations and intentions that were made 400 plus years ago as it relates to us. And so I wish we would be to a place where we were beyond this. And I know we're not, and I appreciate all the efforts, but as somebody who's empowered like this, I really don't want to have to put special emphasis when it should just be. Do you understand? Do you see the subtle difference there?
I completely, I'm
so
right there with you.
I grapple with this while I support, this is my business. I'm like, look, I'm here, you're here, let's go. Why does there need to be all this differentiation in terms of, us still striving for equity and equality? So
and that's a whole
position on that.
Right. No, and that's all. And that's the question, right? That is the question that we're answering through action, right? It's like women do feel marginalized. Women do feel discriminated against. Women do feel disadvantaged because the systems are there to do so, right? Doesn't mean that individually we can't do things to empower ourselves, but things could be so much easier and peaceful and more tranquil around that if the systems weren't there, right? So we got to remove the systems. So that's why we're highlighting all this and the accomplishments of women and that kind of thing to keep them motivated to move, as well as making it us understand, listen, we can't create a better world without women, and women feeling empowered, and women feeling equity in the world, and equals, and everything that and and feel free, right, to just be themselves in all its grandeur, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I'll be right there with you. You know,
Yeah.
it's like Martin Luther King said in his I Dream. He said, "I might not be there with you when this all happens, but that doesn't mean that we don't keep striving for it, right?"
Absolutely.
And so we all have to have skin in the game around this. So that includes you, men. That's why I'm talking
Yeah.
about this. That's why I'm leading
Yeah.
and talking
And I'm
about
so
this.
glad you're taking the charge, Brian. You're a
Oh,
perfect spokesperson for it.
oh, thank you. I'll take that. Um, we're going to skip this break. We're just going to keep on moving into our next one because I think that was an important conversation. Just want to remind people that March is a great opportunity to explore women's contributions through history. Now, we just kind of talked about this as well. For a deeper dive into art, specifically by women around the world, you can explore women's contributions through at Google Arts and Culture virtual exhibition featuring the works from the National Museum of Women in the Arts, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and more. Now, this thing is amazing. And if you guys are online, I know our radio listeners won't see what we're looking at right now. But you can go to artsandculture.google.com and check out the Her Own Muse site that's there. And when you enter in this gallery, what happens is that you're in a virtual gallery at Google, and you've got things like, things on the walls, from all these different museums. You've got pioneers here. You can actually click on different art pieces, and they will tell you who it is, a little bit about them, and that kind of thing, and that you can just explore this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful virtual gallery and learn so much about different people, and just kind of walk around and learn about these women and really get empowered. Like, wow, I didn't know that this person did this or did that, and that kind of thing. So, you know, Dr. Chanel, I mean, I was like, I love stuff like this. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Because you don't have to literally go to the museum, right? You can be at work, you can take a break, the 5-second vacation, 5-minute vacation, and walk around this virtual gallery and learn about all these wonderful women artists throughout history.
Yeah, what a treat. What a treat. And for someone like me who, a couple shows back, who, I usually don't take a lot of time to go physically into an art gallery,
Right.
or even a museum as of late. So that is an opportunity to, explore and be curious and avail myself to some new knowledge and new histories and widen my perspective. So I'm planning on taking advantage of it. It's right at my fingertips. I have Brian, I have no excuse. And so that I'm going to put that on my agenda for hopefully this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really, really cool. And you could literally spend hours in there, because it's just not like you go to the front page and you see the art that's there, but that's just the beginning. You could actually virtually walk through all these different exhibitions that are part from, centuries from long ago to modern art of today, and the people who are creating all this stuff and learn their stories. So it's really, 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 really cool and nice.
Yeah.
And so,
Brian, I was
yeah.
recently, I was online, and it was during Black History Month, but it was a Black History tour of Howard University and some other historical Black
Oh,
colleges
wow.
and just other historic places, especially in DC, and there were live tour guides that were on location, like in Atlanta, in like I said, in DC, and we were able to remotely go to those places with these individuals on the ground. And so now it's just like we can go there without having to always go there, right? So the
Right.
access is available, and I'm hoping and encouraging people to definitely avail themselves to this free resource that's literally at your fingertips.
Mm, 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 mm. And I would say this too. Have your kids be with you. You can put
Yes.
this up on your big TV, right? You can share it out to your TV and make a family event of it where you can pop some popcorn and bring out some Kool-Aid. The adults can have their adult beverages, and you enjoy this time together, because some of those tours are they're all amazing, but there's a lot that you can learn. I always learn something new when I'm doing either a tour in person or virtually. Like, wow, I didn't know that about that person, or I didn't know that history, right? Because we can't know it all, and so thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's always
But we
I
can
love that. It's
we can open up and expose ourselves just a little bit more, and
absolutely.
our kids, which is so important.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so just want to remind people, listen, so first, listen, empower our women and their storytelling. Next, you can learn more about women through history, so you can put all this stuff into context and learn about that. But when we come back, we're going to talk about women in business, right? And the importance of empowering women and women entrepreneurship. And there's one specific thing that's a gap for a lot of women, but you have to wait and find out what that gap is. So we'll be right back in about 2 minutes with more of Soulivity Today.
Do you see me kneeling on this dual roller called Parasetter? It's actually comfortable because of this channel and the softness of the special foam. It feels like my kneecaps are being massaged. When I lie down, my spine is housed in this channel, while the convex rollers massage my muscles. They let go and lengthen. There's a traction effect from my head on the headrest and my mid-back from the rib wrap, which hugs me. When I start the breathing sequence, I feel calm because my cortisol levels are dropping. Lower cortisol means bye-bye constant hunger. Parasetter is 40 inches long and much more comfortable than old-style rollers, but it weighs only 10 ounces. Parasetter, just like Pilates was, is no longer an insider secret. Do yourself a favor. Reset your parasympathetic nervous system. Defeat stress. Lying, sitting, kneeling, or standing. This unique patented roller helps everyone.
Join us every weekday at 8 a.m. for Soulivity Today.
Whether you're just starting your day or on the road,
Soulivity Today will make your days better.
We will empower you with authentic conversation about the latest news and trending topics. Plus, you won't want to miss our interviews with industry experts.
so sit back, relax, and get ready for a whole lot of fun.
Soulivity Today, weekdays at 8 a.m. only on KMET 1490 AM radio and ABC News affiliate. Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today. Since it's March, we're discussing how to empower and inspire women around the globe for International Women's Day and Women's History Month. And back with us is Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, author and executive leadership coach. you know, we were talking about, I was trying to give this tease around women in businesses. And so I wanted to make sure that we talked about this one thing that I'm about to talk about now. And that is, you know, women and entrepreneurs and their businesses, you know, are a powerful force in economic and, you know, in innovative growth. But did you know that according to the World Economic Forum, the total micro, small, and medium enterprise finance gap for women is estimated to be at more than $1.7 trillion. That's crazy. Yet women entrepreneurs own 22% of micro enterprises and 32% of small and medium enterprises. That's got to change. $1.7 trillion.
That's something that hasn't, that's the first that I've heard that number, Brian. That definitely, you know, that gap is so humongous. It doesn't even seem like you can even get your arms around it. I do know that women business owners, I mean, we're becoming more of a force in entrepreneurship, especially African American or, you know, women of color, but yet and still there's only 4% of entrepreneurial women make it to the $1 million mark in revenue.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
most entrepreneurs are going to be honestly under $50,000. And then, you know, the trend that within the first 2 years, 3 years, you're going to have a significant drop.
Right.
People just say, this is not working out. And so figuring out and making people more aware, right, of this tremendous disparity, I think is an important first step. And then figuring
Absolutely.
out what are the resources. And there are a ton of resources. I mean, there are a lot of funding
Yeah.
sources, you know, like the SBA, and I don't know if we're going to go into actual resources, but there is a concerted effort, you know, starting with the federal government to empower women, especially who are undercapitalized, which is a part of the major problem of that prevents female women and women of color from going into entrepreneurship and then being able to actually scale their business to like $1 million mark and beyond. So
Absolutely.
so big gaps
Absolutely.
exist.
Absolutely. I mean, the one statistic that I heard was that if businesses overall can make it to 4 or 5 years, and then the number of businesses that fail in terms of percentages after that point is way smaller. Right. It's like if you can make it to that one mark, you'll figure out, and you'll figure out how to get funding, and you'll figure out how to maintain and then expand your business after that. There's one woman-led organization that's trying to help close this gap. And so I wanted to have people learn more about this from Pix 11 News. This is really amazing work.
Despite all the advancement of women in businesses, there is still a significant gender gap. Women of color especially feel that disparity, particularly when it comes to financing their deals.
Yeah, research from the Kauffman Foundation shows that women-owned startups pay higher interest rates. They also take on more collateral than similar businesses owned by men. But one woman is trying to close that gap.
And she's joining us right now. Gayla Jennings-O'Byrne is the CEO of the Walkstar organization. She joins us now in studio. So you're creating sort of like a wealth by funding women. How so?
We're women that invest in women. There's some really good companies out there that have not gotten the capital to truly grow, and we're filling that gap.
All right, now you saw a need and you started Walkstar Academy. First of all, tell us how that name came about and who's this program for?
Yeah, so as we thought about a name, we wanted something that was inspirational, and we kept saying, like, women are amazing. They're, I don't know if I can use the word bad, but we also said that they're like rock stars. They just are rocking. And then we just thought, I think we got a name. Right. And so Walkstar Academy is for anyone who's started a company and is ready to raise serious capital so they can do some serious scaling and growing.
And it's an 8-week course. What happens during that?
Magic. First, they learn, truly. First, they learn about the different types of capital and funding. They learn how to value their company. They learn how to make the ask. And then more importantly, they also learn how to run a campaign around fundraising. It's not opportunistic. You really have to be intentional about raising capital.
And what is the goal for people after completing the academy and the 8-week course?
Yeah, so the goal is that they will be in a position to raise some serious capital, that they will grow their teams, they will access more markets, and that we're going to help them do that.
And who's like the shining star that you look back and said, ah, yes, she went through the academy?
Are you making me choose amongst my
One
children?
of your kids, yes, yes.
Well, I will share one because she just opened up a new spot. It's called the Nourish Spot. She has a new location in Brooklyn. Healthy food, healthy juices. That one I think I will share because it's the most recent success. But we're seeing success and impact everywhere. The companies are raising significant capital. They're raising their visibility. We talk a lot about storytelling and how to attract investors by telling your story. There's so many women that have contributed to society. We just don't know their stories.
And for women who are at home right now listening and they want to take part in this, when is the next course and how can women apply?
Yeah, so they can go to Walkstar GFS. So Walkstar George Frank Sam, which stands for Ghetto Film School, so walkstargfs.com. Applications are open now. We're going to start in April. I hope to see every woman that's listening, and guys, there's room. We're inclusive.
Oh, look at y'all.
We're inclusive.
Okay.
Listen, diversity is
Cool.
about inclusion. That's the competitive advantage.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
I love it. I love it. I kept smiling, and I was like, I couldn't stop. My cheeks were starting to hurt because this is what it's about, right, Chanel?
This is about one woman, she said, women investing in women, not waiting around but taking the reins herself and saying, look, I know the gap. I know the undercapitalization of women business owners and of women of color business owners, and I'm going to do something about it. So she's providing the education, access to capital, expansion to, resources and networks and market expansion. So this is a program that definitely, we want to take a closer look at for sure.
Right. And as I was going to say, I know there's got to be others out here, and all you need to do, maybe we put the link to that video in our chat. We'll put the link to this funding resource as well. But my guess is all these funding resources, they kind of partner, and they have resources where, hey, if this doesn't work for you, here's another resource for you. But yeah, women supporting women. And I love the fact that she said, listen, we're all inclusive here. We know that there's some businesses out here for men who are also struggling. And though our main just is to support women, listen, if you're a man that's also owning a business that's also trying to support women, here's a funding source for you too. And so, man, I mean, my cheeks are hurting. I was just smiling as she was talking about this. And you can just tell this is her purpose. This is what she was born to do, because she was just joyful and energetic. And so that's such, oh man, I love it. I just love it. That's all I'll say. I get all goo. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have two colleagues right now in New York. They're attending the Goldman Sachs 100 or 10,000 small businesses. And Goldman Sachs is another phenomenal organization. And they also have, I believe it's 100 small Black business owners, where they're providing, education, resources. I believe they're providing access to capital as well. That's another one. And your local small business administration office, I'm putting a plug in specifically, have a ton of resources, and they have various certifications so that you as a like a certified woman-owned small business, or a minority business enterprise, you're able to put yourself in the running for government contracts and corporate contracts because of your status as a either minority or woman. And so there are definitely organizations and agencies with funding. And oftentimes they can't find enough entrepreneurs to actually provide the resources and the help for. So please keep in mind, places like, she said, what is it? She said, woke. How did she pronounce it?
Woke
Star Academy.
Yeah, Woke Star Academy. I love it.
Goldman Sachs. Those are just a few you want to take a look at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, we've got more of this good stuff with Chanel and me, and we're talking about women's empowerment today. But we're going to take this quick break, and we'll be back with more of Soulivity today, celebrating women in just a second.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us, a place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hey there, we're back here with more on Soulivity today. And since it's March, we're discussing how to empower and inspire women around the globe for International Women's Day and Women's History Month. And back with us is Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, author and executive leadership coach and senior contributor for Soulivity. One important part that I think that goes unnoticed sometimes, Chanel, is this idea of partnering with women, right? There's the term allyship, which is about putting words into action and showing support for the women in your life and the community. Again, Google's out here paying it forward, everybody. They released a report called Breaking Barriers, which highlights systemic challenges girls and women face in entering fields like computer science, like these tech fields where there's a lot of barriers to. Here's a video that I wanted everybody to see from Camille Ferguson from the Education Development Center that does stuff worldwide, discussing the importance of social capital and diversity, but specifically in tech.
There are two main things that students need to be successful in a computer science career or education pathway. The first thing, of course, is hard skills. Students also need what we call tech social capital. Social capital in tech is the network of people that you know that help grant access to the tech industry, to jobs, to whatever you need in the tech industry to be a part of it. different groups of people have different social networks. This difference between social networks matters, especially for people who are typically underrepresented in STEM. If Black girls aren't able to get access to the same social network or the same opportunities and information channels that those that dominate the tech industry have access to, that creates a barrier for them to enter the tech industry and to also persist in the tech industry. So everyone has social capital. It's not about more or less. It's about different social capital and creating spaces to help build your social capital that supports your goal of entering certain industries. It's about building strong, diverse networks of people that can provide information and access to your goals and your dreams. When we bring diverse people together, we bring diverse ideas together. And more diversity in ideas creates more robust innovations for the future.
I love what she's saying here, Chanel. I think that there's this myth that breaking down these barriers to diversity and building more diverse social networks is only about women and minorities, when it's not. It's about all of us, right? What are your thoughts about this, Chanel?
I love her energy. I love her message and her mission. So social capital is really one of the distinguishing factors of high worth individuals. So people who have highly diverse, expansive social networks make more money than those who have less diverse and expansive network. I mean, that seems pretty logical, but there is actual research that I've had access to at the University of Michigan School of Business. Professor Wayne Baker studied this exclusively and found that if you have, diversity in terms of ethnicity, gender, socioeconomic, language, geographic, the more diversity in your network, you do have access to different ways of looking at problems, different ways to solve problems, and ways to challenge each other so that you come out with the most innovative ideas and solutions that you can bear to market, that actually create businesses that generate income. So what she's saying is absolutely right. The social capital is where I think us as individuals can invest in terms of expanding our own networks, but then creating these forums, these opportunities that put us in rooms that allow us to get in spaces where there is diverse networks, because that is how deals are made, right? I was at the award ceremony yesterday. I saw I heard a deal take place on stage.
Well, there you go.
Who had the ability to offer another businesswoman who has a product an opportunity to put her product in that person's, let's say world. I don't want to give any specifics.
Right.
That deal happened just like that. And I commented to the lady who offered her the deal. I said, hey, that is how it's done. It's through the networks. It's through your being present, you showing up in the room.
Right.
And so sometimes we don't show up in the room because, we're the only ones. Like I get that all the time, but I press through because I know if I don't put myself in the room and expand my networks, I'm limiting my social capital. And we're all responsible for our social capital, and then us working together to expand the opportunities to increase everyone's social capital, like what this young woman is aiming to do as well.
I'm also thinking that specifically global companies, but also companies in general, they win out when they expand their ability to have diverse people within their companies, within their organizations, and expand the social capital that's there. I mean, I keep thinking, I keep going back to one of my favorite movies of this decade, Hidden Figures. If those Black women weren't at NASA, we would have never put a man in orbit. We would have never got men to the moon and everything else that happens after that, because those women set a standard based upon their background. They brought that social capital, right?
Yeah.
And it changed everything. And NASA to this day, they have continued that commitment to ever expanding social capital at there, because they understand that they have highly complex problems and issues that need to be solved. And it can't be solved by looking through a lens of only one lens, right? You've got to open it up. You got to open it up.
Absolutely do. And, just from a fundamental, capitalistic, I know Sheila, I could hear Sheila, in my mind. Just from a capitalistic standpoint, you're going to make more money as a company the more diversity you have in the company, because you have different perspectives, you have different ideas, different ways to approach problems and come up with those innovative solutions when it is, diverse, not homogeneity, right? Where it's just a single, same type of people looking at the same problem in the same way with the same, experiences. We need all these different experiences to approach situations and problems and come up with these ideas. And more importantly, Brian, the different perspectives are what challenge each other. So my way of being is different from yours, and I can, challenge in a respectful way so that we come up with the best solution. And that's what separates us from other, countries, organizations, etc. And then also the supplier diversity. There are companies that now have supplier diversity commitments in their, in their goals, so that they are looking to increase the pie, if you will, the funding to get contracts for, people of color, women. And so that's a concerted effort that a lot of companies now have written down as one of their, goals and objectives is to increase their supplier diversity chain.
So, I'm going to put out a challenge to companies and organizations that may hear this. And I'll paraphrase Hidden Figures that, if you want to go to the moon in terms of your business and then beyond into the stars, increase the opportunities for women and minorities to join into the organization and not just be subordinates. You'll be surprised that if you put these people in positions of leadership, that will supercharge a lot of different things, because you'll be solving the problems and the issues that you need to solve from this diversity of thought that's there. And so just want to put that challenge out to all these businesses out there, as well as, to our world in general. Learn more about what women and women of color have gone through, so that, to your point earlier, Chanel, that we can move into a society that's not colorblind. We're not talking about colorblindness. We're talking about acceptance of diversity, right? That's what we're talking about. And that everybody feels free to be all that they were meant to be.
Yes. Absolutely. Like, no more questions, no more explanations.
Yeah. No, none of that. None of that. Exactly. Running out of time. Just want to highlight, the book that you were giving away yesterday, earlier this week during the Women in Leadership Forum. Come Back to Yourself, Love Life, Live Free. Tell us a little bit about this book, and then how people can do a little consultation with you.
Yeah. So Brian, I actually, because I was going back to my alma mater, I had to reread the book and make a few little editorial corrections. So now I'm just like, when I was reading the stuff, I was like, whoa, this book has such good nuggets to help you figure out where you are, what is holding you back, why it's holding you back, and get to that deeper issue. Because until we get to the deeper issue, we're not going to be our best selves and be this big, bright star to make this impactful change for the people who really need you. So pick up the book. It's on Amazon, but also more, just as important, reach out to me. I'm happy to have that discussion about where you are now, where are you going, how are you going to get there, and who you're going to take along with you. So reach out to me at the phone number listed there, and I'm happy to have an exploratory chat with you.
You can reach Chanel at area code 313-410-9909. That's area code 313-410-9909 for your complimentary coaching session with somebody who is wonderful, 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 wonderful. I remember we used to have our conversations before all of this, and I just get so empowered by just those talks with you. It would remind me of different things that I needed to do. And it was so helpful. So thank you for that. Thank you for those days and those conversations. So I hope people go and take you up on this, because they won't regret it at all.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. And iron sharpens iron. So
hey.
Conversations.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's right. Thank you for being here, as always. Appreciate you. Appreciate your words and your thoughts and your wisdom. It is our pleasure here at Soulivity to support you and the other women that are part of this platform wholly, succinctly, with dedication and commitment. It is our pleasure to do that. So thank you.
Thank you
for bringing your light and love. Listen, running out of time. Just want to thank all of you for being here on Soulivity today. We hope that you come back and join us every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our live broadcast, or you can watch or listen to us on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. For all of my people out on the West Coast, all my fam out there, just want to remind you to follow us on social media, where you can learn about the latest shows that are going to be coming up on Soulivity, tips, how-tos, or just general inspiration to keep you moving in the right direction in your life. Also, you can download each and every one of our Soulivity Today shows by visiting our soulivity.com, Soulivity Today page, and you can download it and take it wherever you want to go, because we're on podcasts. So if you're on Google or Spotify or Apple, take us with you and listen to us wherever you go. Listen, until next time, just want to say thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction